Hi Daily Dragons, this is Miss Coach, and I want to thank you for joining me as I recap Esperanza Rising chapters 9 and 10. Now chapter 9 is titled Las Ciruelas, which means the plums, and chapter 10 is titled Las Papas, which mean the potatoes. I love it how the author Pam Munoz Ryan uses these fruits and vegetables that migrant workers have been planting and growing, and she uses these items strategically to connect them into the storyline. So let's jump right into chapter 9, Las Ciruelas, the plums. Now, Isabel is finally going to start school, which means Esperanza is left to take care of the babies all by herself. Now, it's lunchtime. She looks around and she notices plums on the table. So she decides, hey, I'm going to feed the babies plums. Raw plums. Now, of course, they get stomach aches, which result in a lot of poop, a lot of dirty diapers that Esperanza has to clean up. Now, the next day, she's hanging out with Irene and Melina with their babies outside. And all of a sudden, there is un tormenta de polvo. Tormenta means storm and polvo means dust. So there was a major dust storm. They ran inside the cabin to be safe. And Esperanza was worried about Mama and Hortensia and Josefina, Juan and Miguel and Alfonso. And eventually they finally returned back from their work. And everyone is coughing a lot due to the dust storm. Now, almost all of them stopped coughing except for Mama, who never did. Even after a month, her cough continued. Finally, they call the doctor, and the doctor comes to examine her and tells everyone that Mama has valley fever from la tormenta, from the dust storm, which gets into your lungs and gets people sick, especially people who aren't used to the dust in the valley. Now, in chapter 10, Las Papas, her Mama's coughing doesn't stop, and now she's starting to refuse food. The doctor comes again and tells everyone that Mama is depressed and her health is worsening and she needs to go to the hospital. Just to make things worse, Esperanza is completely worried. First she lost Papa, now maybe Mama. She doesn't even have Abuelita. She realizes that she has to be strong for Mama, to help Mama recover. And so she decides to start working the sheds with the ladies, Hortensia and Josefina, to earn money so that she can pay for Mama's hospital bills and to hopefully bring Abuelita from Mexico to the United States so that they could finally be together. What a tough position for Esperanza to be in. Now, that was the end of chapter 9, or chapter 10, excuse me. And in your assignment, after reading chapter 9 and 10, the requirement is to work on your core novel packet, pages 16 to 17. Right, so I've marked it here. Now, I've included page 15, and it has a crossword puzzle for important vocabulary words for chapters 9 and 10. So if you are a fan of words and word puzzles, then go ahead and feel free to work on that. Now in page 16, your assignment starts with questions. Okay, so you have 8 questions. You may complete it on a line sheet of paper. Just remember to title it Chapter 9, Las Ciruelas, and Chapter 10, Las Papas. You don't have to write the questions, but please answer the questions in a complete sentence. And remember that when you are answering, you are restating the question, right? So question 1 is, why is Esperanza left alone to care for the 2 babies? Right? So you would say Esperanza is left alone to care for the 2 babies because, okay? The next section is questions for discussion. Now those you can leave, you don't have to write down your responses. We will have a discussion in our next Zoom meeting. The next section is a science connection. The task is to do some research on infectious diseases to learn why Mama in 1930 received so little medical help for her lung disease. Okay. Also, I want you to find out when the first antibiotics were used to treat diseases. Okay. Next is the literary devices. The first section is again reviewing simile. So what is being compared in the following simile? It says, the dust had settled on the wind, covering everything like a suede blanket. So what was the dust being compared to? Okay. Now the next section asks, why is this better than just saying dust was everywhere? Right? So give your explanation. Let's move on to the next page, page 17. Page 17, you'll continue your literary device. And we'll focus on metaphor, which again is comparing two things. So what is being compared in the following metaphor? Would she, Esperanza, ever escape this valley she was living in? This valley of Mama being sick. What is being compared? And what mood does this create? Right? So what emotion, what feeling when reading this does it create for you as a reader? Finally, the last part of your core novel assignment is your writing activity. So you're going to return to the pages in which the dust storm is described. I found those pages for you. They are on page 147 to 148. I want you to read it over, and I want you to notice the details and descriptive language that the author uses. After your noticings, I want you to write about a dramatic natural event that you have experienced. And I want you to use language that will help the reader relive your experience, right? So this author loves to use similes and metaphors. Perhaps you can use some similes and metaphors to describe the dramatic natural event that you've been through, okay? So you can complete that in the space below. Now, remember, if you have any questions about our core novel, don't hesitate to contact Ms. Lichto or Ms. Coach, either through Microsoft Teams or during one of our Zoom meetings. Now this concludes our recap of chapters 9 and 10, Las Ciruelas and Las Papas. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.